name is Ruby van der Wekken, and I am based in Finland, where I'm working for our beautiful food cooperative called Oma Maa, which means our soil. And we are a food cooperative with 2 farms, a kitchen, and a little membership space in town. And so we make food bags around the year, 50 weeks of the 52 weeks of the year, meaning we also engage in secondary production, meaning things like bread and falafel and seitan. And yeah, that's our main doings. What are for us is very important there that, of course, we are working towards good agriculture, good produce, good food bags, good food. But very important is that this is a people's process, because we're believing that, as many of us are saying right now, if we are changing the systems of our basic needs, meaning that if we change the way we produce and consume and distribute things like our food, but also energy, also transport, doing that, we can develop pathways towards much more healthier and fair communities and through that society. This is starting to be more or less common knowledge. But what is much less put on the table is that these processes of change, they should be rooted in people's processes. Because the market has shown time and time again that it cannot deliver on values that are important to us. And with people's processes are then meaning that the co-caring of responsibility, the co-governing, the co-producing of that what is common to us. And that brings to the importance of our local initiatives, why they really matter for us to engage in them, for us to start to demand politically what kind of changes, perhaps in law, we also need. And the solidarity economy movement is actually, it's giving us a kind of an envisioning of how we then can come to another economy, because it's kind of suggesting that actually there are many, like we are also saying here in the summit, there are many local initiatives all around us. If we put on the right lenses, we can see many layers of economic activity where other values than profit making are up front. But then solidarity economy suggests that if we map those initiatives, if we make them more visible, we work more through them, but also therefore enable more practices to team up with each other, we can be growing another economy from the bottom, which is not just a niche of economy with a mainstream extractivist economy going on. No, it is a proposal for the whole of economy, and not necessarily without state and market, but profoundly doing something else. And then through that teaming up of different initiatives, our energy cooperatives, housing, our food cooperatives, actually what we're doing in that way is we are producing more commons and the commoning around that. So for me, the commons paradigm shift is actually, that is where we are working towards. So that the solidarity economy movement has been important in envisioning for people that another economy is possible. And it's a conversation that should be of us, for all of us, something we all can participate in. Well, I think the initiatives that we're working in, I mean, we all have to face that we're working we are facing a mainstream economy around us. So we're trying to change practices. It's a lot of figuring out together. It's a lot of talking together, working on how can we organize our relations different to come to different kind of economic practices. All the same, we have to confront also the mainstream economics, and in many ways we still need to get a lot from that other economy. This is the challenge. How can we get more network together locally, but actually also globally? Because I mean, there will still be things that we want to have through trade. And so that is a challenge, of course, in that manner. But it is all about the linking up together and the working together. But then also slowly but surely come from that notion of solidarity in which you want to share power, in which you want to enhance more equality, in which you want to enhance more the furthering of ecological objectives. To through that also come more for things to become commons. I see that as the paradigm shift here. And how can we then have, for instance, our governments, our local governments, our cities, how can they become partners in enabling people to engage more in commoning around their commons? I think that is very important. It is not only, we cannot, as a local initiative on our own, first of all, we need to create political pathways so that we can strengthen what is going on and engage in that conversation. Of course, there are different kind of developments, but I have to say that what tends to happen is that there's a lot of talk about participation, but it's a little bit of talking about a piece of the cake, but not really about really the sharing of power. So it becomes it can tend to be a little bit more of a symbolic act of partial participation, which is in any case, I think, for many of us not satisfying. So, for instance, what we have been thinking about it, that it would be, one could imagine as also is happening elsewhere, that, for instance, in your city, you could come to a working group around solidarity, economy building, and through that, a furthering of our commons and commoning. A group in the city which would be in dialogue, constant dialogue with us actors, being, of course, also more organized, and to discuss about what are our challenges and what are then the demands that we would like to put forward on the table with regards to certain policy changes. Because at the moment, so much we are confronted, of course, with a lot of challenges, and some of them are concrete, have to do with law issues. I mean, we need different laws for the enabling of the commons and commoning and policies, and how can we enable for more people. We talk so much about transitioning, green transitioning processes, but how can people really engage in that? And we know through looking, like we talked here a lot about agriculture, keeping up of biodiversity means to have so many people, hands and minds with, to actually cater to a very diverse agriculture. There's so much good work around. And so it would be, I believe that if we can come to some sort of political pathways for us to be voicing our demands, it means both that we need to organize, but in dialogue with a partner on, for instance, I think that in cities at the moment, we are feeling that there could be more leverage to talk about the demands, the political demands that you